Good morning, welcome to this week's video. This week I've come down to a start point, a lighthouse again. I came down late last night in the van, or relatively late, as you've probably seen on the B-roll footage. Incredible sunset last night, but I wasn't here in time. Not that this is sunset location this time of the year anyway, but I didn't really get a location that was suitable to shoot the sunset, so I concentrated on getting down here. I had a walk down last night just to suss out, and now I've come up to take some sunrise photos. So I've got a competition set up for this first photo. Bit of a rush. Thought I'd give myself plenty of time to get up this morning, but when I got up there's already colour in the sky, but we're still a good while away from actual sunrise. So I'm just catching some shots here with the lighthouse with the light still going. Let me turn you around and I'll show you what I've got. Okay, so my image, the composition I've got set up is cropped in, but I've got this curve here leading this in from the centre of the shot, and then the lighthouse and then that bit of colour behind. I'll try and show you on the back of the camera screen, you'll get a better idea. So what we've got, I'll just take the exposure down so that you can see a little bit better. Got the curve there, lighthouse in there, which you probably can't quite see on this, and then a bit of colour in that sky behind. So I'm just going to take these couple of shots here, and then I'm going to walk down over onto that point down there and get some shots from down there, a bit more sideways onto the lighthouse. So let's get these shots and then we'll walk down to there. Okay, I've now put the longer lens on, put the 70 to 300 on, and zooming in on that lighthouse with that colour directly behind. As you can see, let me just other than that cloud directly behind the lighthouse there, there's not a lot else. So I'm zooming in because already the highlights in that sky above are starting to try to blow out when I'm exposing for the lighthouse, etc. I'm underexposing anyway. So getting these shots, currently shooting at ISO 64 f8 1/5 of a second, and I'm trying to time my shots because I'm only shooting at 1/5 of a second. It's quite a fast speed, so I'm just trying to time my shots when the light is on the lighthouse. So I've got my trousers well and truly tucked into my socks with my boots. I've had to wade through some ferns to get down here, get down to this location, and ticks are pretty prime at the moment, I think. So I've tucked my trousers into the socks to try to protect the bottom of my legs. Yeah, so it's a little bit disappointing this morning. It was windy as hell last night. The old van was shaking a little bit up there. But this morning really calm. So we've got no waves, no movement down there hardly at all. So there's no sort of white waves sort of breaking against those rocks around the front, which would have given to put some filters on and get some nice slow exposures, using those waves, but that's not the case this morning. So may as well just shoot straight through the lens, shooting a bit wide angle now as well, picking up these rocks over here, putting them on the right hand side just to hold that side together, and then we've got the start point here leading out with the lighthouse, with these rocks here in the foreground. And I have also picked up, I have sort of just angled down slightly and just picking up these, just the tops of these ferns here, just in the bottom of the frame, just to give me a bit of a base to the shot and a little bit of foreground interest. So it's not looking too bad. Unfortunately, it's not the conditions I was actually hoping for, but things could be worse. I'm up nice and early. There's nobody else around, got the place to myself. What more do you want? So it's not just us photographers that are mad. I doubt if you can see him or her on this Osmo, but this time in the morning there's somebody out there paddleboarding. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna get too much more from the lighthouse. The sun is starting to break on the horizon now, and so it's blowing out the sky. Like I say, that little bit of cloud that's there is not really sort of enough I need. Typical landscape photographer moaning about the conditions. Anyway, I think I'm gonna stroll a bit further along the coast. I noticed on Google Earth that there is a little bay a bit further on, which might be interesting for maybe an astro shoot or another shoot. So I'm just going to walk along and check that one out. So I'll show you when I get there. Yeah, I'm quite liking this composition. I'm using, there's a few plants here that are just little tufts that are just catching that early morning glow coming up, and then looking back along the coast, back towards the lighthouse. So I've set myself up in portrait mode, and what I'm doing is I've done several different exposures. Let's see if I can take that down in the camera a little bit. It's just glaring, so it's a job for you to see, and my reflection in there. So but yeah, I've taken several different exposures because obviously I'm looking into the light, so I've got a very high contrast from that background sky through the scene, coming back through the scene down to this plant, down to this area down here. So what I've done a focus on there, exposed to that as well, so I've got a nice foreground image. And then I have done a midway focus, just reducing the exposure a little bit, and then I've done a couple of exposures on that background and that sky, so that I can lose the highlights and blend it together. So in my mind, I think it might make quite a nice shot. If it does, in reality, here it is. Okay, so this is that beach, a bit further on from where I was walking from. I'm not going to bother going down to it. So this morning there's nothing really worth, but there's a pathway leading down there, so it's perfectly accessible. And there's a nice rock sticking up there that if the tide was up here would give quite a nice minimalistic slow exposure shot. Some nice rocks jutting out, but like I say, there's just not enough movement in this water, in these waves, to create any real interest around the rocks. They're just gonna sit there and also do a slow exposure. It's there's nothing there really, unless it was up around that rock. There is a couple of rocks on the far side there, but I think I'll give it a miss today. But definitely one to maybe look at for future reference. So I don't think it's going to be a overly long video, but it's been a nice morning. Like I say, I did miss that early morning, the real early morning glow, but I don't think with the shot I had, I don't think it would have made too much difference. But no, got some nice shots. Particularly pleased, hopefully, with that last one. Hopefully that will come out all right. And it's been quite nice scoping some new locations as well whilst I'm here. So I think before all the crowds arrive, I'm going to make my way back to the van and go and get some breakfast. Once again, can I thank you for taking the time out to check out my videos. Please check out some of my other ones if you're new to the channel, and if you are and you like what you're seeing, please hit that like button and also the subscription button with the notification bell to keep up with every time I do a latest post, and drop a comment down below. So from start point down on the South Devon coast, till next time, take it easy.